Joe, there's nobody out there more anxious for this game to get underway than quarterback Matt Dunigan. In his 2 years as a Toronto Argonaut, Dunigan has missed 10 games each season as the result of injury. He did not play in the postseason last year, including that Eastern final loss to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. He returned to the lineup in the final regular season game against Ottawa after missing 6 games, completed 12 of 17 for 384 yards, 3 touchdowns, including an 85-yard strike to the Rocket. So Dunigan, it's safe to say, is roaring and ready to go. Matt Dunigan returned in the final regular season game against the Ottawa Rough Riders in the second half and was most impressive. He has some talent to throw the football to. He has the Rocket, 9 touchdown receptions. David Williams, 6 touchdown receptions. Smith with 9, Masadi with a couple, and this is Williams on the receiving end. He takes the ball to the 45. That will be a gain of 6. He is stopped by James West and Greg Battle. First down. Here comes the pressure. There's the pass. It's complete to the pinball. Penalty flag on the play as the pinball is taken down at the 25-yard line, a gain of 15. The Argos were hoping for a quick start. They might get it as Dunigan looks to the end zone. Touchdown! David Williams made the catch in the corner in front of Les Brown. Brown appeared to have good coverage, but David Williams was able to make the catch.
That's what Darryl Rogers told us yesterday. The big difference in this football team is that the Toronto Argos now have David Williams as a wide receiver. Matt Dunigan teamed up with David Williams. That's an underthrow. It's a design play. He underthrew the receiver. Williams came back and said, hey, that's my touchdown.
Les Brown, who led the CFL in interceptions, had great position on David Williams. But Williams, one of the outstanding receivers in the CFL and an all-star this year, fought off the coverage and made the catch for the early Toronto touchdown. Lance Chomick to add the point after. And he's successful. And with 12:49 remaining in the opening quarter, the Argos are in front. We'll be back with the Toronto kickoff. David Williams gets the game's opening touchdown. Let's take another look at it.
Matt Dunigan and David Williams team up. There's a silent audible, they call it. Williams gave him the tip of the hat. That means I'm going to underthrow you. You have to come back for the football. I'm not going to lay it out.
And he came back perfectly in front of Les Brown to make the touchdown reception as Evans hits Dunigan just as he throws. And of course, Matt is trying to concentrate on the flight of the ball to see whether or not Williams made the catch, which of course he did. Well, Dunigan said that playing with all these weapons on offense is like driving a nice car. He said, I'm basically in the driver's seat of this fine automobile. I just have to make sure it keeps functioning. And as long as he keeps throwing passes to people like Darryl Smith, and Smith makes circus-like catches, it will continue to function. That will be close to a first down.
Darryl Smith hadn't practiced much this week. He had a problem with his leg, a quadricep pull. Look at the way he works off of Sampson and then comes back for the ball. And you're going to see him against Sampson. That is a super concentrated catch by Darryl K. Smith, and what a super athlete he is.
They were penalized 216 times this year. The Argos with a 2 tight end formation. Dunigan fakes the hitch screen, throws to Masadi. He's open and down to the 19th. 35-yard gain.
That's better than a hitch screen, Don. That's what I like. They faked it like they were going to throw the hitch screen, a little pump fake, and then Matt laid it up to Masadi. They're saying, heck, who's this Masadi? Masadi said, I'll show you who I am. I can catch this football just like those other skilled people on the field. Nice pass by Matt.
Michael Allen brings Masadi down, but not before he combines with Dunigan for 35 yards to the 19. First and 10 Toronto, 6:36 remaining in the opening quarter. Dunigan has never beaten Winnipeg in postseason play. He lost twice to the Bombers when he was with Edmonton. He lost to them when he was with the BC Lions. First and 10. Toronto at the Winnipeg 19-yard line. The Rocket lines up wide right. David Williams goes left. Dunigan rolls to his right. Throws complete, and Darrell K. Smith will have another first down at about the 4.
It looks like part of their game plan is to go after Sampson. They've got Darrell K. Smith at 6'3". They think that he's got the ability to out-jump Sampson, and Matt Dunigan's looked for him twice in critical situations. They need to get a touchdown. That's what Matt's hoping for.
Darrell K. Smith continued to fight and got down to the 4-yard line. So they spot the ball back actually at the 6-yard line. They rule he was stopped there. He had continued fighting and got to the 4, but it will be first and goal from the 6. Dunigan to Smith, touchdown!
Well, there's a little change-up. Matt Dunigan rolling out till the receivers could find time to get open. They had that tough one-on-one coverage. Darrell K. Smith knows all he has to do is find a void. Sampson made that bite. Darrell K. Smith is there. Matt Dunigan is up into the stands. He rolled out and went up into the stands. I mean, he has put some velocity on that football and celebrates by going up into the stands. I can't believe this. Dunigan is pumped.
Well, the Argos off to an explosive start. Touchdown throws from Dunigan to David Williams. Dunigan to Darrell K. Smith. Lance Chomick adds the convert, and with 5:29 remaining in the opening quarter, it's 14-0 Toronto. It's a 15-0 Toronto lead over Winnipeg.
Here's Matt rolling out, and watch the bite. Darrell Sampson committed up, and then he just couldn't get back. Greg Battle couldn't get any drop. And Matt Dunigan, I mean, he is up and over. This guy's an athlete. Look at him.
He goes right into the stands to celebrate his second touchdown throw of the day. And he has posted some impressive numbers already, completing 8 of 10 passes for 101 yards and 2 touchdowns. This should be the final play of the opening quarter, 2nd and 6. Dunigan looking to the sidelines. Murray makes the catch for a first down. Toronto at the Winnipeg 54-yard line. And that is the end of the opening quarter. A wild quarter for the Argos. They lead 22-3. Well, the Argos certainly need the Rocket in the lineup, although they do have so many other offensive weapons. Matt Dunigan looking for Darrell K. Smith, incomplete on a first down play from the Winnipeg 54-yard line. Greg Battle, the linebacker, was coming again. You know, the last team to beat the Argos at the Sky Dome was the Winnipeg Blue Bombers on October 13th of 1990. Winnipeg won by a score of 21-16.
Matt Dunigan is upset because of this shot. I mean, that's right below the knee. That can hurt your career, and Matt jumped up and told Battle about it. You know, he said, hey, you can tackle me up high.
Well, this year, Dunigan missed 10 games as the result of a popped calf. That occurred in the second game of the season. Then he suffered a separated shoulder, but he's in fine form today. Argos have only run the football twice this afternoon. Dunigan will throw again, this time to the pinball. He waits for Williams to make the block. Touchdown! Michael Clemens goes 70 yards for a touchdown. Paul Nasati got involved to make a block. David Williams threw the key block, however. The pinball utilized David Williams perfectly. He waited for David Williams to get in position to throw a block, as we'll see on the replay.
Well, here's the pinball, and we all know what an athlete he is. I mean, he is down the field, and watch him wait for David to come over and get him just a piece of Rod Hill. That's all he needed, was just a piece of him. Then Masadi came in and just cleaned out anybody that had the angle left, and it's a touchdown.
The pinball adds the 4th Argo touchdown of the afternoon as Toronto increases its advantage to 28-3, and Lance Chomick will add the point after with 7:54 still to play in this first half, and the pinball heads to the bench limping. He said that knee that was injured initially on August the 27th was okay, but as he made a move trying to spin off an apparent tackle, he may have planted just the wrong way. But there's a key block by David Williams, and then Masadi gets involved, and you see Les Brown and Quincy Williams come in on the pinball, and he headed off to the bench limping.
A lot of fireworks for just a simple flat pattern. He caught that flat pass, but Masadi came up and he made it a play, and pinball just takes it in on his own from there. Get out of my way, I'm going to get 6, and he did.
Well, 4 of the Argos' marquee players, the pinball, the rocket, Darrell K. Smith, and David Williams, have scored touchdowns in the first half, and Matt Dunigan has thrown passes to 3 of them. The Argos lead 29-3. Matt Dunigan has had a field day against Winnipeg's defense. He runs for a first down.
That's what people often forget that Matt Dunigan can do. He's got that ability to pull the ball down and to get at least 10 yards on a whim. I mean, it looked like he wasn't even trying, and he drops back, nobody's open, and look what he does. He's over in for the first down. Good numbers today, 11 out of 19, 188 yards, 3 TDs. This looks like last week's second half. He's picked up the momentum a little bit in this half.
Matt Dunigan in previous playoff games against Winnipeg really hasn't had occasion to smile, but he has certainly had things his own way this afternoon. He takes off again, and that's another Toronto first down. Hatziano and Battle made the tackle. Dunigan missed the 3 regular season meetings between these two teams. On July 25th, Toronto won by a score of 30-16. On October 5th, it was 22-21 Toronto, and on October 11th, Winnipeg 28-27 victors. 2nd and 10. Penalty flag on the play. The pass for Darrell K. Smith. It's over his head. He was being covered by Daryl Sampson.
Quincy Williams getting up off the sack, and Matt Dunigan's talking to him, get off of me. Now Matt rolls out as he delivers. Quincy Williams came in and smothered him, but watch Quincy stay on top of him, and Matt gives him an elbow. Get up off of me, buddy.
Matt Dunigan came down heavily on the right shoulder. Ricky Foggy is now warming up at the Toronto bench. As Dunigan went off, he was not moving his right arm. There could be a problem. Matt Dunigan seems to be moving all right at the Toronto bench, but it is right arm that is causing the problem, apparently. Matt Dunigan has gone off to the dressing room. We indicated there may be a problem with the right arm. He suffered a separated shoulder earlier in the season that forced him to miss 6 of the last 7 games. Ricky Foggy takes over at quarterback. His pass intended for David Williams, incomplete. He was being covered by James West. Scott?
Marquee players, marquee injuries for the Toronto Argonauts. They say now the Rocket has a slight concussion. We'll get absolute confirmation of that early in the second half. And the problem with Matt Dunigan, as Ricky Foggy's taken the field, is that he's irritated the shoulder injury that kept him out of 6 games earlier in this season. They're not sure if it's separated or if it's anything worse than a slight irritation. They'll have a closer look at him at halftime, and he may be back in the second half. But of course now the concern becomes, will both these players be available for the big game next week? And I think it's pretty safe to speak in terms of the Argonauts being in the Grey Cup in Winnipeg next week. Don?
Dunigan with that broken collarbone, with Quincy Williams landing right on top of him. I saw Dunigan come back with his forearm to get him off. That meant that he probably felt some aftershock in his collarbone.
And Matt Dunigan?
And Matt has irritated his shoulders, so there's no point in him trying to continue with Rick Foggy here, so we'll keep Matt out as well.
Robert, what about their availability for the big game next week should the Argos, and it looks as though they will, go on to Winnipeg?
Should be no problem.
So you're declaring them both as best you can at this point available.
Matt will re-x-ray and so on later today or tomorrow, but the Rockets sure will be fine.
All right, thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
Welcome.
Don?
Ricky Foggy taking over from Matt Dunigan after the starting quarterback was injured late in the second quarter. And Foggy will direct the attack, I'm sure, for the balance of the game as Matt Dunigan has already taken off his uniform.
Don, a few moments ago, Dr. Robert Jackson said he thinks that Matt Dunigan will be able to play for the Argonauts in the Grey Cup next week should the lead stand up. But Matt, you've got the injury. What do you think?
Well, I'm just, putting in the Lord's hands, and if He wants me to play, I'll be ready to play. I'm going to do everything I can to get ready to play. It's just an unfortunate situation. What can I do? It's part of the game, and I can see what it's like in the next couple of days.
You did your work in the first half of this game. What did you see that allowed you to chew up the Bomber defense so much?
We just try not to force the football down the field and take advantage of what they're giving us short. And for the most part, you get the ball in our people's hands, and they'll make something happen, and that's what happened.
Frustrating when you're on a roll as you were in the first half of this game to have this happen, I'm sure.
It feels like it's been that way for 2 years now, Scott, so this isn't nothing new.
Well, you tried the haircut. What's next?
I don't know, just a lot of prayers.
Yeah. Okay, Matt, thanks for your time and good luck. Hope to see you in Winnipeg next week. Don?
Obvious disappointment with Matt Dunigan in that he is not going to be around for the finish of this football game, at least not as a participant. He'll be watching from the sidelines, as he has done far too often during the course of his Argonaut career. He missed 10 games in his first season with the Argos and missed 10 more this year. He was out of postseason play last year as well, as the Argos scored a semifinal win and then lost in the final to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Dunigan can only hope that he will be back for the Grey Cup game if the Argos hang on to this big lead they've built up over Winnipeg.
The problem Matt Dunigan will have is that is his throwing arm. The arm that he's having trouble with, that right arm or collarbone, could cause him some problems trying to throw the ball.